Welcome back, my boys and girls. So today we're lucky enough to take a quick look at the Retrobit Super Retro Trio Plus HDMI enhanced. It plays your Genesis, your NES, and your Super Nintendo. And as you see, there is some silver foiling to this box, which you guys know I'm partial to. 6-foot HDMI cable included, 2 classic controllers, multi-region compatibility, HDMI and AV support. Hey, so you can hook it up any which way you want. Taking a quick glance at the box here, pretty standard fare. Kind of nice on the side, gives you a little glimpse of all the ports this little fella has. Pretty awesome stuff. The back of the box, HDMI enhanced retro gaming has a new look. That's what I'm talking about. So, you know, in multiple languages, goes over a bunch of stuff. Pretty sweet. Hey, it's time. We just need to open this up and take a look. So this is a system I've really been looking forward to taking a look at. Reason being is because it's all in one. Genesis, Super Nintendo, NES. Really awesome because as some of you guys who follow my unboxings, reviews, and videos know, I want an HDMI Sega Genesis. I need that solution, and the solutions that are out there that are readily available to me at this moment are not good enough. They just don't work for what I want. I don't want emulation for my cartridges. I want to play the actual cart. So I'm hoping this is it right here. I'm hoping this does the job. So in the box, you do get a manual. It's kind of a little beefy manual, but reason being is because there's a lot to this system. You do have the multi-region for the Sega Genesis, and you do have multiple controller slots, and there's a switch for the controller slots. It's pretty simple to use, but the manual does make sure to go over everything just in case you need to know. And it is in multiple languages, which adds to the beefiness of the manual. But we don't need no manuals. We just mess with stuff and figure it out. So, hey, I'm not even going to bother. So it does come with 2 controllers. These controllers might look pretty familiar to you. Reason being is because they're pretty much the same mold, buttons and everything, as the controllers that came with the Super Retrocade, which is an awesome device. So, hey, not really going to review the controller. It's a pretty nice controller. It does have the Super Nintendo port on it, so you could use this on other systems. You know, I'm going to test these out a little bit, but since the system supports original controllers for all 3 of the systems it can play, I might as well use some originals. I do like these controllers, but I think I really liked using them for arcade games and whatnot on the Super Retrocade. So on this system, more so I'm going to use original controllers. And she also does come with your micro USB power, which is awesome because almost everything I have is being powered that way. Instead of having some weird proprietary power or, you know, a barrel switch power plug that I have to keep checking all my devices, make sure I'm using the right plugs because they're all different voltage and everything, or different sizes. This definitely comes in handy and is appreciated that it's kind of becoming the standard here, so pretty awesome stuff. You do also get your 6-foot HDMI cable. I've got HDMI cables just flying around this place, man. So many of them, but hey, you can never have too many, and you never know. When you need one, hey, you got one, so pretty cool. So let's go ahead, take a look at the system. Pretty nice. There's some heft to it, which I would expect since it's, you know, it's taking care of 3 systems at once. And you do have this switch, which goes from the off to the Genesis, Super Nintendo, and NES. And each system does have a different color light. So Genesis is blue, Super Nintendo's red, and NES is green. So pretty good stuff there. And then just taking a, you know, little peep around the system. Here's all your ports in the back, HDMI, AV, and then your power. Looking at the bottom, the sides, everything. It's a pretty solid looking device. Pretty nice here. Kind of has that, you know, they kind of maintain their look across their devices. And here's the front panel, which is spring loaded, which I find pretty cool. Just press it and she opens up and you have access to all your controller ports. Hells yes. Super Nintendo, you have your NES and your Sega Genesis ports. Player 1 and Player 2 for each system. pretty sweet. You can use the included controllers for all 3 systems, and you can also use Super Nintendo controllers for all 3 systems, and that's pretty cool. I mean, I would much prefer to use, the controllers that are meant for the systems, and I think that's kind of why they included the ports, so pretty sweet. So this system does support, obviously, the cartridges that Retrobit put out, so they put out a handful of Super Nintendo carts with a bunch more to come. Keep an eye out, seriously. You can play repro Super Nintendo games, original Super Nintendo games, and the cartridge slot is designed to where it takes everything. So your Super Famicom, your Japanese release games will fit in there and play just fine. Everything Super Nintendo, not an issue. Sega Genesis, boom, we're going to have to test out Sonic and Knuckles, seriously, with Sonic 2 attached to that bad boy. Has to happen. If it can't play that, then it's not the answer to my problem that I have, in that I want an HD Sega Genesis. So we got the system out of the box. Now it's time to test some games. We're going to peep out the NES, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis. See how she performs. We'll be doing some comparisons in the near future, but for today, we're just going to test out some games. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Okay guys, so here we go. Locked and loaded, a cartridge in each slot, set to Sega Genesis with Sonic and Knuckles, with Sonic 2 attached, and whoa, what do you know? The lock-on technology works with this system. So that is pretty flippin' sweet in my opinion, because really, this system, the biggest selling point, besides that it has 3 systems in one, for me, was that it has Sega Genesis, and I really wanted to be able to play Sega Genesis in HD, on my TV. I want to be able to record stuff, play some games and all that, and this, is looking to be a viable solution for me. So let's go ahead and start the game up and actually see what to do here. Let's play a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and turn my voice off and turn the game volume up so you can get a better idea of how the game sounds and how she looks on the Super Retro Trio Plus. So there we go, guys. I think she's performing pretty well, but let's go ahead and swap on over to the Super Nintendo and see how that works. So here we go. We've got the Joe and Mac Ultimate Caveman Collection popped into this bad boy, which is also a Retrobit game, so kind of obvious it's going to work, no problem. I've tested out a handful of other games on the system for the Super Nintendo, and everything has looked and sounded great in my opinion. What I am going to do, though, in the very near future, within a day or two, I suppose, is Super Nintendo's the big hype right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do a comparison video of this system versus the other 2 systems that I had compared, the Hyperkin Super Retron HD and the Gamerstech 16-bit HD. And I'm going to save Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time as that comparison, since I think it's only fair, compared that game on the other 2 systems, so that is going to be used as well for this. And we'll be doing a side by side, all 3 systems at once with the same screen grab, so you can go ahead and see the quality differences between each system. So I really can't wait to do that. But for now, just peeping out this Caveman collection with Congo's Caper, I think everything's looking pretty sharp for me. Pretty nice looking. I'm not getting any blurriness or loss of detail so much here. Everything's looking pretty legit for me, and I'm really digging this. I'm really impressed with the quality as far as the visuals go for the Super Nintendo for me. Pretty sweet. So let me go ahead and turn my voice off and turn the sound up on the game so you can get a better idea. So there we go, Super Nintendo looking and performing great for me. So let's go ahead and swap on over to the NES. So here we go, DuckTales. Now there's a reason why I selected DuckTales. I kind of wanted to play DuckTales 2 on the system because I just grabbed that cart at a pretty great price. And hey, it's a pretty sweet game. But the reason I selected DuckTales 1 is because it is a short pin game. On the actual board, on one side, the pins that need to touch the cartridge slot are short. So a lot of clone systems have an issue with that, where they don't reach far enough or they don't grab far enough to make contact with the pins on the game. And DuckTales, certain copies of the game, suffers from that issue where the pins are short. And with this system, no issue. The game booted up on first shot, so definitely impressed with that. I'm glad that the cartridge slot actually accommodates shorter pin games, because there are quite a few. Dragon Warrior 1, Kid Nicky, there's a handful of them. There's a real good handful of them, so it's a definite positive that this system has no issue with that. Glad to see that. So here we go. Let me go ahead and play a little bit of this. I'm going to go ahead and turn my voice off and turn the game sound up so you can get a better idea of how she looks and performs. So there you go, guys. I think the system is performing great. Everything's looking and sounding pretty awesome for me. Like I've said plenty times in the past, these kind of systems are not for you elitists or for people who are into RetroPie or emulation. This is a system that's for people who just want to play their cartridges in HD, be able to plug it into their modern TVs without any kind of hassle, without having to use up converters, upscalers, expensive boxes like that. There's also other people too who, either their systems have died in the past, or they have a collection of cartridges and don't have access to a system anymore for one reason or another. And any of these systems out there, I think, are all great solutions to that. Right now, I'm really digging this Super Retro Trio Plus. Reason being, takes all three systems, the major systems that people, typically collect for. People collect for every system, but, a big part of collecting right now is Super Nintendo and NES. So having those two in one is awesome, but then also having Sega Genesis is just killer in HD because we do not have a readily available HDMI Sega Genesis in the States that you can just go buy in the store. So this is pretty sweet in my opinion. You know, we're going to do the comparisons with Super Nintendo within the next day or two to give you guys a better idea of how this system fares against the Hyperkin offering and the Gamers Tech offering. I think it's only fair if I've already done comparisons to go ahead and continue that, which each, you know, new system that comes out that I get. So definitely look forward to that. Keep an eye out for that next day or so. I'm not going to keep you waiting too long. If you guys want to revisit NES comparisons, let me know. I'll go ahead and recompare NES because I do have, man, like pretty much all the NES HD clones that have come out, at least the lower end ones, and also the AVS. So if you want to see that, let me know. I don't think it's too big of a deal to go ahead and do an updated version of that for you guys. Just let me know. Hey, if enough people are interested, I'll go ahead and do that. So for now, I hope you guys appreciate this video. I hope this has helped a little bit. I'm really digging this system. Gonna be doing some more tests, so stay tuned. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you have not done so already. Do all that wonderful stuff. If you are interested in this system or any other retro bit products, you can go to castlemaniagames.com. Certain products you can get 10% off on by using my little special code, Pixel10. There might be a few exclusions, but most things on the site you will get 10% off on. And any order $20 or more, free shipping. So that is flippin' sweet. Peep them out. Link will be in the description. And I will catch you guys next time. Boom! Peace out.